he turned down Wembanyama and playing in that game so he could be rested up to chase this triple-double against the Dallas Mavericks. It's not a good look for LeBron. He is
Jason,
not.
The NBA needs to lose this guy. They need to shed the weight of this fraud so they can fully start healing this product. Whoever knows, knows, and whoever doesn't, doesn't. Like the LeBron, the blind apologists, the bootlickers and jock sniffers out there will be groveling at the feet of the fraud king all day today over this sham triple-double.
Jason Whitlock just went all in on LeBron James, and this time, the heat isn't coming from a salty rival or some random account online. It's coming from a loud voice in sports media who built his name on saying what others won't. And the charge is serious. Stat padding, not just any stat padding either, but chasing a triple-double in a blowout while sitting out a tougher game earlier to stay fresh. That story is now blowing up across sports shows and timelines everywhere. And suddenly, LeBron's legacy is under a bright spotlight again, like we haven't seen in years.
LeBron James, last night, historic moment, Skap. I know you know where you were at last night. He became the oldest player with a triple-double.
So now the big question is simple but heavy. Is LeBron really chasing milestones at this stage of his career, or is this whole thing being blown out of proportion?
I found this tweet, I think it was from Apex Jones, just trashing. Yeah, it was from Apex Jones. My memory's great. The king of stat hunting, stat padding, and smoke ducking, LeBron James. LeBron, you can't use his full name. The face of the NBA's load management black eye shamelessly load managed the 2-seed Spurs. He skipped the game with Wembanyama and the Spurs, and then stays in a 20-point blowout over the 12-seed Mavericks to chase a triple-double. He stole a rebound that clearly belonged to Jackson Hayes to become the oldest player to record a triple-double.
People are split down the middle, and the debate is getting loud. The play that sparked all this drama didn't even look wild at first glance. Late in the fourth quarter, Lakers up by 20, game basically wrapped up. LeBron was still on the court hunting for that 10th rebound to lock in a triple-double. Dallas was already handled. Most coaches pull their stars in moments like that to avoid pointless injuries. But LeBron stayed out there, grabbed that board, and made history as the oldest player ever to post a triple-double. Headlines celebrated the milestone like it was pure greatness. Social media praised the longevity and the consistency, but critics saw something totally different. Jason Whitlock and his co-host didn't clap for history. They said it looked planned. They said it looked like a superstar focused more on his personal stat line than team flow or perception. They questioned why he could log big minutes in a blowout, yet sit out a tougher matchup earlier in the week. That contrast didn't sit right with them at all, and they didn't sugarcoat it either. They called it stat hunting. They called it legacy management, and the harshest label thrown out was fraud behavior.
This single play defines his career, holy cow, career, using Hayes' box out to steal the rebound Hayes worked for and pad his numbers to reach another milestone, fraudulently cheating the game and his teammates for his own self-aggrandizement. 23 years, a fraud.
Those words hit hard, and they spread fast. Whitlock pushed it even further. He argued this wasn't about one rebound in one game. He framed it as a pattern, a career-long strategy. In his view, LeBron is always aware of the storyline, always watching the numbers stack up, always making sure the history books tilt in his favor. That's the bigger claim. That triple-double turned into more than a stat line. To critics, it became a symbol. Not just 10 points, 10 boards, 10 assists, but a message. A sign that LeBron understands exactly what gets remembered decades later.
I was going to say, Apex Jones sounds like he hates LeBron more than I do. So shout out, Apex. Look, I'll say this about LeBron. And that, let me expand upon that tweet real quick, or whatever, that posting on X. Look at the stats look at this highlight you're showing. Shout out to your production team. That rebound came with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter of a 20-point blowout against a team not even in the play-in range right now, who, by the way, didn't even have Cooper Flagg last night.
Numbers last forever. Records get repeated on every broadcast. And if you control the numbers, you control the memory. The timing is what really fueled the fire. 2 minutes left, game decided, opponent struggling, and LeBron still out there chasing that last rebound. When he finally grabbed it, Some fans cheered, but critics said the celebration looked personal, like a checklist item completed. To them, it didn't feel natural, it felt intentional. And intention is what keeps this debate alive. Because here's the reality. If fans believe the numbers just happen within the flow of the game, they celebrate greatness. But if they believe the numbers are being hunted, then the shine fades fast. And once that doubt creeps in, the GOAT conversation changes instantly.
There were 24 other guys that logged a minute in that game, and LeBron played more than all of them to chase down that 10th rebound, which he did again. Obviously, snag it right off of his center right there, Jackson Hayes. And then, of course, he's running down the court, pointing, and the crowd is cheering. It is a disgusting moment. We seriously, the NBA needs to lose this guy.
Whitlock's bigger point was about direction. He suggested that in recent years, LeBron's career has leaned harder into milestone moments. Oldest to do this, fastest to reach that. Only player ever with this combination. Each record becomes a headline. Each stat becomes another brick in the wall of his legacy. And that wall keeps getting taller.
The LeBron, the blind apologists, the bootlickers and jock sniffers out there will be groveling at the feet of the fraud king all day today over this sham triple-double. It's just laughable.
Steve, it reminded me a lot of Kobe Bryant's 60-point night to end his career. Your thoughts?
As LeBron gets older, every achievement carries extra weight. Longevity becomes the storyline. Durability becomes the brand. And when you're still producing at that age, every historic stat hits louder. But critics argue that when you chase those moments even slightly, it changes how they feel. It shifts them from organic dominance to calculated branding. That's where the GOAT debate gets sensitive, because it's never just about raw numbers. It's about dominance, leadership, aura, and authenticity. Fans want to believe greatness flows naturally. They want to feel like records are byproducts of winning, not targets on a checklist. Once people think a player is steering towards stats instead of letting them come, skepticism creeps in quick. So now the same triple-double is being viewed in two totally different ways. One side calls it historic and inspiring. The other side calls it manufactured and strategic. Same play, same box score. Two completely different meanings. Whitlock also pointed at the media machine around LeBron. He argued that mainstream coverage often blasts the milestone across every platform, while barely mentioning the context. The triple-double becomes the main story. The 20-point blowout becomes a small detail, the record trends. The situation fades into the background, and that imbalance, according to critics, shapes how fans see the moment. At the center of it all is perception. Is LeBron just competing hard until the final whistle like any legend would? Or is he carefully stacking achievements to guard his spot in history? That's the tension driving this entire storm. Because when legacy is involved, every rebound feels bigger than just a rebound. Minutes played suddenly don't even matter anymore. The debate gets smoothed over into applause instead of real breakdown. And critics say that kind of coverage shields LeBron's image. The idea that media narratives shape legacy isn't new, but with LeBron, it feels louder, bigger, nonstop. He's played in the social media era, the highlight era, the era where perception moves faster than the actual game. One clip can shape a season. One stat can shape a story. Every game gets picked apart. Every possession turns into content. When you live under that kind of spotlight, every choice hits different. Staying in for one rebound isn't just a basketball move anymore. It becomes a branding move in people's eyes. That's where the tension builds. Then the comparisons to past legends came fast. Critics argue the all-time greats didn't chase moments. They created them through battles, through big wins, through championships earned against elite squads. Their reputations were forged in pressure games, not padded in blowouts. That's the angle critics are pushing hard. But LeBron's supporters aren't buying that narrative at all. They say stat chasing has always been part of the league. Players hunt rebounds for round numbers. Players stay in to lock up scoring titles. Players chase that last assist for a triple-double. That's basketball culture. So if LeBron is getting singled out, they argue it's because the bar for him is unreal. Every move gets judged heavier. Every mistake feels louder. Whitlock's stance wasn't that LeBron invented stat padding. His argument was sharper than that. He said, when you sit in the GOAT chair, every tiny detail matters more. If you're claiming the throne, people zoom in on everything. The expectations rise sky high. The room for perception slip-ups disappears fast. Another layer of criticism focused on leadership. If your team is up big, should the leader be hunting numbers or protecting his body? Should the priority be personal milestones or the long grind of a season? Critics argue real leadership is knowing when to sit down, when to let the moment belong to the squad instead of the stat sheet. That's where some fans felt uneasy. The Lakers situation makes it even more intense. This isn't a team just developing young talent. This is a franchise expected to compete every season. Every minute counts. Every injury risk matters. So when a 40-plus superstar stays in a decided game, questions pop up naturally. Is it needed? Is it wise? Is it about stacking wins or stacking history? Whitlock framed that triple-double as part of something bigger. He pointed to what he sees as a pattern, a constant awareness of legacy talk, a steady positioning in the GOAT conversation. Fair or not, that idea connects with fans who believe LeBron has always been fully aware of how history views him. In today's era, image is power. There's also emotion tied to all this. Some fans say they miss the younger LeBron, the explosive force who attacked every game with raw hunger, the version that looked like pure fire on the court. Now they see a veteran who calculates, who manages minutes, who picks his spots carefully. That shift feels different. Of course, evolution is normal. Aging athletes adjust, they get smarter, they conserve energy, but perception changes with that evolution. What once looked fearless can now look strategic. And in the court of public opinion, strategy sometimes gets twisted into something else. Whitlock's strongest words weren't about one rebound. They were about symbolism. He labeled it ego. He labeled it self-promotion. He described a superstar more focused on personal milestones than team identity. Whether that's fair criticism or dramatic exaggeration depends on who you ask, but those labels hit hard and sparked serious debate. The fact that this moment exploded shows how polarizing LeBron still is after 2 decades. That's the truth. He's no longer just a player. He's a brand, a business, a symbol of the modern NBA. Every stat feeds into a bigger story. Every highlight becomes part of the GOAT argument. Every decision becomes headline material. What makes it wild is how quickly the narrative splits in two. One side sees greatness, a 40-year-old still dominating, still putting up numbers, still breaking records like it's normal. That's historic in any era. The other side sees calculation. They see stat chasing. They see image management from a superstar guarding his legacy carefully. The truth probably isn't extreme on either end. Great players care about numbers. They care about milestones. They care about legacy. That doesn't automatically make them frauds. It makes them competitive and aware. But the balance between team success and personal achievement is where the real debate lives. Whitlock's comments hit nerves because they didn't just question a play. They questioned the mythology. They challenged the idea that every milestone is pure and untouched by strategy. And when you question mythology, fans react fast and loud. That's why this conversation isn't fading anytime soon. There's this long-standing belief that LeBron's greatness is completely organic, that every record just happened naturally, like it flowed without planning. But once the triple-double got labeled as intentional stat padding, the whole picture flipped. What was first praised as historic suddenly looked calculated to critics. In today's social media world, that shift happens in seconds. A clip goes viral, opinions spread fast, narratives lock in before the full context even catches up. Now the conversation isn't even about the actual game. It's about LeBron's character, his priorities, his authenticity. That's how quickly things escalate. One rebound turns into a debate about legacy and motive. And what happens next will decide how long this storyline sticks around. If the Lakers start winning consistently, most of this noise fades away. Winning quiets critics. Success changes the tone of every headline. But if the team struggles, moments like this don't disappear. They come back, they get replayed. They turn into evidence for people who already believe LeBron focuses more on legacy than results. That's the weight that comes with being at the top. Greatness comes with pressure. The higher you rise, the tougher the fall. The louder the praise, the sharper the criticism. Every move feels bigger. Every rebound gets analyzed. Every extra minute on the court gets questioned. That's the spotlight LeBron lives under every night. Jason Whitlock didn't just question a basketball decision. He challenged a legacy. He questioned intent. He pushed back on the polished narrative around one of the most celebrated athletes ever. Whether you agree with him or not, people are talking. They're debating. They're arguing across shows and timelines. That alone shows how powerful LeBron's presence still is. After more than 20 years, he still controls the energy of the sport. He still drives conversation. He still shapes basketball culture in real time. That kind of staying power is rare. Love him or criticize him, ignoring him just isn't realistic. His name alone sparks reactions. And maybe that's the real headline. Not just the triple-double, not just the rebound, not even the harsh criticism. The real story is that 2 decades in, LeBron James still sits at the center of basketball discourse. Still polarizing, still relevant, still powerful enough that one late-game rebound can light up a national debate overnight. What really turns this situation up is how fast everyone picks a side. In today's sports culture, you're either riding for LeBron heavy or you're breaking down every move like a detective. There's almost no middle lane anymore. That one rebound clip keeps spinning online, and depending on who's watching, it either looks legendary or it looks planned out to the smallest detail. That's the price of being an all-time great. When your resume is packed with rings, records, and historic nights, people stop expecting greatness and start demanding perfection. Not just big numbers, but numbers that feel pure. Fans don't just want production, they want authenticity. They want moments that look raw and unplanned. The second something feels slightly calculated, the doubts start creeping in fast. But let's keep it real for a second. The NBA has always been driven by stats. Incentives are tied to numbers. Awards are tied to numbers. Hall of Fame cases are built on numbers. Acting like milestones don't matter at all just doesn't line up with reality. Every legend understood that legacy counts. The only difference now is that every play is clipped, posted, and judged within seconds. And then there's the business side. LeBron isn't just a player, he's a global brand. Every new milestone strengthens that brand. Oldest to do this, first to reach that. Those headlines travel worldwide in minutes. That spotlight has value. Some people call that smart positioning, others call it image control. Either way, it keeps his name at the center of the game. Competitive pride is another piece of this puzzle. Some believe LeBron simply refuses to leave anything unfinished. If he's one rebound away, why walk off? True competitors think like that. They don't punch out early just because the scoreboard looks safe. They finish the job. That mentality built champions long before social media ever existed. Still, perception can flip the story quick. One small choice can look harmless to one fan and strategic to another. Once doubt enters the chat, it spreads. In the era of non-stop takes and instant reactions, subtlety barely stands a chance. Loud opinions win the day. There's also a layer of fatigue. After more than 20 years of constant coverage, some fans are simply exhausted by the non-stop LeBron focus. Every achievement gets blasted everywhere. Every controversy trends. For some people, this rebound wasn't just about stats. It was about feeling like the spotlight never shifts away from him. That frustration fuels the fire. But here's the undeniable truth. A single rebound in a regular season game shook the entire basketball world. That doesn't happen unless the player involved is larger than the moment. Whether you see brilliance or calculation, LeBron still runs the conversation. He still moves the culture. And clearly, he still gets everyone talking. Now I want to hear from you. Was this pure competitiveness or was it legacy management in real time? Drop your honest take in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who's always in the GOAT debate, and I'll catch you on the next one.